a little slower. It was like...
I want to talk about nail polish in not just talk about it in a way that it relates to gender, I feel like, but not in a, boys shouldn't wear nail polish, we can, that stupid thing. Obviously, men, boys, whomever can wear whatever they want. There's no gender qualifications for doing things that you like that you feel make yourself prettier or look better or whatever. But rather than harp on that a ton, because I feel like that's obvious, like, no shit, do whatever you want. The other day I was speaking with one of my friends at work, but we were talking about the concept of, I guess you could call it like intentional helplessness, or like learned helplessness in men, kind of like as a byproduct of kind of, there's articles that I'll link to, so that if you're not entirely familiar with it, I'll explain it some, but you can read up further on it. It's people who are smarter than me and have actually done research and studies on it. But the idea is that there are certain things that men do badly, like intentionally badly, and that there's two results of it. Either one, they don't get asked to do it again, or that they get praise for the effort. And I think, the first is obviously like a more insidious, like almost borderline abusive kind of thing, if you think about it in relationships and things like that, where someone might, force a woman in a relationship to do more housework, more childcare, things like that, kind of more culturally enforced things. That kind of notion of like, well, I tried to get the kids to bed, I tried to cook dinner, but I burned dinner and the kids don't listen to me, and I give up, you've got to take care of this. You're just so much better at this, sweetheart. And it almost sounds like a compliment. And I guess that if a woman might almost believe that's a compliment, but it's not. If you're one of the dudes who does this, stop. That's really fucking obscene. You're an adult, learn to do things. But the other aspect of it, and this is the aspect of it that I feel relates more to to nail polish. I have gotten, first of all, I'll say this, I'm awful at doing my nails. Like, I love having them painted. I make no mistake, I think it's just all the fun. I think it looks cool, it gives me something to do, kind of differentiate me a little bit. I feel like I have like really, what I'll best describe as like man hands. There's like lots of like scars and calluses and weird little cuts and things all over them all the time. They are, and for a long time it was actually a point of pride. I felt very, it's like these are traditional workers' hands, they're very masculine as fuck and all that. And this is kind of like my way of like, okay, let's soften that a little bit, like, because you're not that dude. Like, you're absolutely not this hyper masculine, like, tough as shit construction worker. It's like, don't get twisted here, man. Like, it's like you like pretty soft things. That's fine, that's great. You should like pretty soft things, everyone should. But the thing about it is that as much as I like it, I don't feel that I've ever really been good at it, at painting them. I always do like a really sloppy job. And a lot of that is just, I'm impatient. Some of that is just, I don't have the experience that a lot of like women have. I buy really cheap stuff. I mean, this is like not expensive shit. And there's part of me that can be like, oh, well, I'm artistic, so it doesn't matter if it's perfect and all that. And it's like, well, that's great, but, and that's all fine in and of itself. The problem is that I get like lots of compliments from women on it, and it seems to be like, oh, you did a thing. That is so cool. I think that's so neat. They look so great. And it's like, they don't. We both know that this is just not true. Like, these nails do not look good in a traditional sense. They are painted, but there's very little skill or patience or effort put into it. And so then to be complimented for something that I feel like it's really similar to, you know, when you see like the single dad, like in movies and sitcoms and things like that, who like, he gets complimented basically like, oh, you're such a good dad, basically just because he's like doing a bare minimum of raising a child. Which is like, fine, good on him for raising his kids, not this hypothetical fictional person. And I think this is, you know, the way people respond to like men painting their nails is really similar. Like, it's like, oh, that's so brave, you're doing this cool thing and it's so cute and blah 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 blah. And it's like, I'm doing a thing that women get made fun of or get teased for. And by that I obviously there are some women who paint their nails simply because they like it and they whatever, but you know, there's this long-standing cultural trope of, you know, women of color, particularly black women, who, you know, they do elaborate things to their nails and everybody's like, well, that's so trashy and impractical. Or, you know, you have these young girls who do that and, you know, do makeup and all that, and it's like, well, you know, you need to just focus on doing this and you're pretty anyway and you don't need all these extra things. And it's just like, what is this weird fucking double standard that we're participating in here? Maybe I'm way off on this, maybe I'm being really cynical and looking at this in a way that's just like entirely unfair. And if you think so, let me know. I mean, call me out on that shit. Like, hey man, people are just trying to be nice. Stop being such a dick and shitting on everybody's parade and all that. Like, someone tries to compliment you, just shut the fuck up and take it. Or, you know, if you're a dude who's experienced this kind of thing, who's gotten, you know, rewards for doing just some basic ass shit. Look at that. How ugly that is. So chunky. Let me know. Either way, I hope y'all have had a good Thanksgiving week. I hope you have been able to talk to your family about evils of imperialism and colonialism. I hope any of my native friends and indigenous friends have not had too rough of a week dealing with the erasure of their entire culture this week. And I will talk to you later. Bye.